Hello, everyone. Welcome back to my podcast. This is episode number 3. We are going to start talking about something that I feel like should be talked about in here. But it was also requested by somebody. So, shout out you. And so, let's get right into it. Narcissism. Narcissism. I suck at saying that word, so bear with me. I'm going to be saying that word a lot throughout this whole episode. But narcissism and what does it mean? We're going to start off with what does narcissism mean? It has a lot to do with somebody who lacks empathy. They show various patterns of behavior, such as seeking validation, entitlement. They have a tendency to manipulate people. They are aloof and cold, but at the same time, super hypersensitive. So they can be easily triggered by anything, especially when their egos are tempered with. Then they do tend to show a sense of hypersensitivity, and they tend to rage as well. So they can be both hypersensitive, they can be both cold. It really depends on the certain what triggers it. So an incident has to occur for the narcissistic patterns of rage to come out. So it's not like a narcissist is just gonna like walk up to you and start screaming. It's more like something has to trigger the rage. So they are constantly unstable and empty. Um, and they show grandiosity is an immature defense against, like, when they feel threatened, they use their grandiosity to feel better about themselves and to feel better validated uh, by the world. They want to always be validated. So moving into narcissism and relationships, it gets a little bit more obvious that someone is a narcissist versus when it's just your mom or your dad or sister. I mean, it's a big deal as well, but studies have shown great deals of narcissistic behavior in relationships. So, in relationships, they were inconsistent, utter disregard, unfaithful, indifference, cold, vindictive. So, no matter what, it didn't get better, and narcissistic people remain narcissistic according to studies. So, you're probably wondering, why would a person stay with a narcissistic person? This all sounds really awful, right? It sounds like it's obvious why someone wouldn't want to stay with a narcissistic person, but if we look at research, a lot of people do stay with these types of people. Why? Well, the relationship is being held by hope and fear. Hope and hoping that things will get better with time, or that they can change, and hoping that they're going to change. And fear of being alone, and also fear of not being able to find anything better. So having really low, I guess, standards, and thinking that you cannot find anything better anywhere else. Those are the two main reasons why a person would want to stay with a narcissistic person. And I'm going to read this right now. The world has become more insecure, according to Gallup's annual Global Emotions report, said that in 2017 was the most miserable in a decade. So right now we're in 2022, and these studies were conducted back in 2018, I believe. And I know that, the studies have probably changed, because 2020 seems to have been, to me, probably everybody's most miserable year. But right now we're talking about studies done back in 2018, so ignore the fact of COVID right now. Insecurity has been like an increasing thing in people all around the globe. Why? Because a lot of people are open to this narcissistic behavior. There I go again, saying it funny. And they're open to this behavior, and values have changed. People's values have changed. They have gone from valuing success, they value success rather than valuing empathy. And empathy is a really big thing. I mean, you can't see empathy. You don't see it physically. Success, we could see physical success. We could see physical success in people buying homes, people getting richer, people um, reaching goals, that type of thing, right? And that's a great thing. It's not anything bad. Success is great. But a lot of people have changed their values, being success being one of the top priorities instead of remembering that we are humans and we are people, and our mental health is really important. So empathy is a really big thing, because if I have empathy, that means that I care about you. I care about what you think. I care about your how you feel. That's what empathy is. You put yourself in somebody else's shoes, and that's empathy. You're thinking about the person. So if that's not a really big thing, then that's not good for us, right? So moving into that, a person who is narcissist, like I said in the beginning, they lack that. They lack the empathy, and that's why they do the things that they do. People don't love emotional coldness. Like, going back to why is a person with a narcissistic individual? Well, it's not that they like that. They don't like the coldness and all that. What they like is certain behaviors and characteristics that they have. And so these are charming, charismatic, and confident. A narcissist has those three things, guys. A narcissist has those three things, and that draws us towards them. Naturally, as human beings, when we see those three characteristics, we think, wow, that's awesome, right? Now, not saying that all people who have these three traits are narcissists. That is not what I'm trying to say. But these are things, these are behaviors that a narcissist has shown to have according to studies. And this is crazy because a lot of the times this blinds people. You know, we put on our blinders. We want that person who has confidence, has charisma, has charm, you know, and we want those characteristics in a person. We're blinded, we're tied in. These traits are seductive to us in nature. We are vulnerable to these characteristics, you know. Studies have shown that we stick around because if someone comes from a household where they've been abused, their parents have been cold towards them, they've been isolated, people allow these narcissists into their lives because of what how they were brought up. That is really something to think about, as in why narcissists are still around, still sticking around and stuff. So that being said, is it easy? Is it easy to kick a narcissist out of your life? Definitely not, especially if they're your child or your mother. You know, we can try to see the reality and try to manage these type of patterns, and that way we aren't being abused. And but managing expectations and patterns, I mean, is that really going to do it? It's tough. And sadly, according to studies, again, 90% of people put their time, energy, sweat, blood, and tears into relationships with a narcissist person instead of putting that into, you know, putting all that energy into it with somebody who validates you, you know, someone who sees you, someone who appreciates you, someone who empathizes with you. Why are you giving all of this, all of your energy to this person, this narcissist who doesn't do the same for you? But then you have all these other people over here doing great things for you, and you only give them like 10% of your energy. That's kind of, that's a really sad thing. It's crazy. What we can do is try to give ourselves some practice, put some practice into yourself, you know, practice self care, self love, mental health. Look at yourself in the mirror, tell yourself you're beautiful. Keep your mental health stable so that way you can overtake these negative people, deal with them in the best way that you can, and not let it get to you, not let it drain you. Because let me tell you something, it's gonna drain you. It's gonna drain you. So, people who come from narcissistic families feel like they could have missed out from supportive parents, from having these parents that they imagined to have, but they never did. Someone in a narcissistic relationship may feel as though they are alone and they're being abused, even if they are married. So, to give you guys a little bit of hope, most people who have overcame narcissistic relationships and have somehow changed these people are stronger than ever, or who have experienced also, who have experienced and gone through everything with a narcissistic person, have shown that they are one of the strongest people. And that's insane, you know? There's hope for these people, but studies have shown that it's not very, very high the people who go to a therapist and say, hey, I'm narcissistic. I mean, that being said, is there a happy ending? The problem with a narcissistic person is that it will eventually pull you in, it will kill you, it will pull you into this gradual pool of negativeness that you're gonna start to believe everything that they say. You're gonna start to feel like, yeah, that's true. Yeah, maybe I am this way, you know. You're gonna start to gradually get affected negatively by all of these things. Now, for any change to occur in a narcissistic person, they have to recognize that they are a narcissist. That's probably the hardest part, honestly, recognizing that they are a narcissist. Second, find these patterns that are making them be a narcissist. Literally point out the patterns. Third, work on changing those patterns. Again, studies have shown that it's possible, but not a lot of people can do this. Not a lot of people do this. This is not high numbers here. This is very low. Well, what happens is a narcissistic person can try to do those things that I just said, but then stress and frustration can get to them. Eventually, they will be stressed and frustrated, and then they're going to rage. And then it's a constant thing again. And it's like there's no change, there's no shift. Are we going up? Are we going down? No, we're staying the same. And it's like, put a band aid. We're back at the same place where we started. And it's just that cycle again. And then this is why narcissism is alive in the world today. Because that's what it is. It's a cycle of allowing these people to act certain way and do certain things. So how do we get rid of this? Sometimes you can't. It's crazy. Sometimes you can't. You know, but it's not you. What we got to do is set expectations, set boundaries, and pretty much take it from there. You know, you're going to set expectations, what you expect to see from these people. Boundaries, as in, you don't do this, you don't do that, you don't cross the line here, you don't cross the line there. But are we back to square one? Are they going to listen? we don't know if they're going to listen. So, you have to accept at this point that they're not going to change. But you got to remember that you're not the problem. And you got to gradually move away from that problem. As people, we need to say, hey, enough is enough. I'm not going to allow this type of behavior. This is not okay. So, this is literally an infectious disease being spread by us, the people allowing this type of behavior. Really let that sink in. What are you going to do next? Are you going to continue allowing this person to treat you this way, to treat others this way? Or are you going to put a stop to it? Are you going to say, you know what? That's enough. So that's just something to think about. And it is something that is being spread by many, not just people in relationships, by, our neighbors, by our community, our politicians. We see it everywhere, right? But who is allowing all this, right? We got to think about that. Why are we allowing all this? So let's come together as a community. Let's get everybody together, your family members, everybody. Stop this. Stop. Put an end. Because that is not okay to be acting in such rageful manner and feeling entitled and feeling that you have to feel validated by everybody and lying and manipulating people. And this has to end here. What do you guys think? You guys can leave a comment down below. Let me know if you guys enjoyed this podcast. Give it a like if you want, subscribe if you want. And, I'm here to keep creating this type of content as well as funny content. I did get some requests about conspiracy theories and I did get some requests about scary stories. So I'm thinking of doing that soon. I'm probably going to have some guests on here as well. And yeah, just let me know anything else that you guys would like to watch. And I hope you guys enjoyed this intense video and I hope you guys take away something from it. And I hope you guys are also having a great day and hope to see you guys soon. Thank you for all the support, guys. Bye.